Okay guys, so we are going to perform three types of what if analysis here. The first one is called goal seek, second is scenario manager, and third is data table. So I'll start with the simplest one, which is called goal seek. And what we're going to do here is we will select a cell which would be my goal cell. So for me, I want to keep a specific amount of project NPV as my goal, and what I want to do is I want to change something else to achieve this goal. How will we go about this? We'll start with the process. We'll go to data, what if analysis, goal seek. My goal is to set this particular cell. So my project NPV is my goal. So I will set this one as my cell. What value do I want? Currently, with 500,000 in incremental sales, I have project NPV of 383. Maybe let's say I want 500,000 as my project NPV. And what do I want to change? I want to change the amount of sales that I need to do. So I'll just click on incremental sales and I'll click OK. So what this does, this calculates the amount of sales which I need to generate in order to get this project NPV. Know that all the scenarios in what if analysis work only under one condition, that your goal cell is either directly or indirectly linked with your input cell. So if you look at the formula here is sum of C14 to 18, that is these cells. And if I just randomly click any of these cells, I will realize that these values are a function of these input cells given at the top. Your goal seek, your what if analysis will not work if you don't have any such reference cells. Okay. We'll move on to the second function, which is called scenario manager, in which case I will get to know different scenarios and the outcome of that different scenario. So I'll go with what if analysis, scenario manager. I have already added three different scenarios: low, mid, and high revenue. You can just open this one. So here I have low revenue, wherein I have given the name low revenue. My cell is B6, that is incremental sales, and my low revenue value would be, let's say, 400,000. Similarly, I have said mid revenue. You can check it out. It is again B6 set to the value of 500,000, and my high revenue is the same cell B6 set to the value of 600,000. I want to know what will happen in such a scenario, so I'll get the summary after creating these scenarios. Summary of what? I want the summary of project NPV, and I click OK. What this does is this creates this kind of a table, a scenario summary. How do I read this? Here in the first row is the current value, low, mid, and high revenue. And similarly, this first row talks about what is the revenue. So for 400,000, 500,000, and 600,000 is my revenue, and what is the NPV corresponding to that. So these are my result cells. So I can clearly see that for 400,000 in revenue, I'm getting 15,000 in NPV. 500,000 gives me 383,941. 600,000 gives me this amount. Now, moving on to the final what if analysis, that is data table, and this is a little lengthier process. So what I have done is I have already created such a table. You can do it too. The most important part of this table is this top left cell. What is this top left cell? This is the cell or the output cell which we want to replicate and for which we want these different scenarios. So this one for me is just a reference to project NPV. So I want to calculate project NPV under different scenarios of incremental sales and incremental costs. All right. So what I have done is I have created this first row. All right. This first row, each and every cell on this first row represents incremental sales of different scenarios. And I have created this first column. Each and every cell on this first column represents incremental costs under different scenarios. If I want to perform what if analysis, I'll select this whole table including the first row, the first column, and the top left cell. I'll go to what if analysis, data table. I have to give a row input cell, that is this row is actually incremental sales, and I'll need to give a column input cell, that is this column is nothing but incremental cost. When I hit OK, I get the whole table made with each and every scenario and its corresponding project NPV value. So that is how we can do what if analysis using goal seek, scenario manager and data table.